Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we'll be going through the 2018 movie The Kissing Booth. It's time to recall, let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The movie starts, and we are taken to a hospital where two babies are born. One is named Lee Flynn, and the other is called Elle Evans. They've been friends since the day they were born. Elle is just 11 years old, and her mother has been sick for a while now. She remains sick for 3 long years and passes away when Elle is still pretty young. Elle's secret crush on Lee's popular older brother Noah deepens, but she suppresses it. One day, when Elle is sunbathing, Noah comes out of nowhere, jumps into the pool, and splashes all the water on her. They then get to talk for a while after playing. The next day is their first day at school, and they have to come up with a great idea for the fall fundraising. As Noah walks away, Elle checks him out. She expresses that the boy is super hot, but as their friendship rule list states, dating any relatives is off the table, and Elle has to keep her crush to herself. Noah comes to her and tells her that his parents are not at home, so he is going to throw a party the next night. The next morning, we see Elle getting ready for school, and while she puts her pants on, she ends up ripping them, and all she has now is the 9th grade skirt. She right away goes to her father and explains the situation to him, and he tells her that he is going to go to the dry cleaner and pick up some clothes of hers, but she tells him that she does not have enough time as she's already getting late. He then tells her that he could drop it off at her school. Lee comes to pick her up and is also shocked to see her short skirt. While she is at school, she is noticed by everyone because, of course, the skirt barely covers anything. One of the boys even goes on to smack her butt, and Lee tries to punch the boy, however, he blocks it. In the meantime, Noah arrives at the scene and goes on to beat the shit out of the guy. When they are sitting together, Elle tells Noah that he should not have done that, but Noah says that he did the right thing, as no girl should be treated like that, not when the girl is hers. When she hears this, she is a little shocked because she never thought Noah cared for her that much. Well, much to her dismay, he goes on to say that it was just like someone is trying to get in the pants of his little sister. Hearing this from her own crush, that is a mood killer for Elle. When Elle is in the girls' room, 3 popular girls make their way into the room, and they are, of course, always hungry for one thing, and that is attention. The girls come to Elle, and they go on to ask her if she has made out with Flynn yet. Elle is unable to understand why all these girls are being so polite to her. When the girls leave, Lee arrives and goes on to ask Elle if the girls were talking about him. One of the girls was Mia, and Lee likes her. He tells Elle that he wants to impress her, so they go to the clothing store the next day and pick out a nice shirt for him. When the two are shopping, they come up with an idea, and the idea is to have a kissing booth as a fundraiser. Elle, however, is going to convince the student council as it cannot be done without their approval. When they are in class the next day, the guy who smacked Elle's butt the other day, his name is introduced to be Tuppen, he goes on to apologize to Elle. He then goes on to give her another note asking what he is going to have to do to get her number. Noah has been watching him very closely, so he right away observes what's going on. She then sends him another note in which she writes that he is going to have to wear a really short skirt to school if he wants to get her number. To Elle and everyone else's shock, the boy shows up wearing a really short skirt and ends up getting the number. Lee then goes on to drop her off at the location where Elle and Tuppen have decided to meet for their date. Lee leaves after dropping her off, and she is pissed when she understands that she's been stood up. She waits there for a long time, but Tuppen is nowhere to be found. Elle then contacts Lee and he picks her up. When he finally comes, he goes on to tell Elle that he did not want to come to the date, but Noah stopped him. He tells her that Noah has told all the other guys not to date her as well. The next day, they start working on their idea of the kissing booth, and they start convincing the community to get it by putting forward their arguments supporting the idea, of course. Elle goes on to tell them that the popular Noah is also going to be working on the booth, so the community right away goes on to accept it because now they know that it is going to be a success. Later on, when all of them are at a family gathering, Noah goes on to lie about what happened on the first day at their school. He does not want Elle to get embarrassed, which is why he does that. Elle then goes on to tell Lee to drop her off. He says Noah can drop her off. Elle says it is okay because she does not know that Noah has a bike. When she gets there, Noah agrees to drop her off, but when he is about to get his bike out of the parking lot, she realizes that she does not feel comfortable sitting with him on a bike, so she leaves. When she gets home that day, she tells all of her friends to start working on the kissing booth, but no one is willing to help her with that. That night, she is invited to a party by the popular girls where they ask her to have a drink, and when she refuses to have one, they force her to take it. They then go on to ask about Noah working on the kissing booth and tells her that he better be with them as soon as possible. They then tell Elle that she should, in fact, talk to him right away. Noah is then approached by Elle when he is making out with some girl. The girl is extremely rude to Elle, and she even goes on to smack her on the head. Noah gets angry at the girl and tells her to get out of there. When Elle tells Noah about the kissing booth, he goes on to tell Elle that he does not want to work on the kissing booth. She goes back to the girl and lies to them, saying that he agreed. During the party, she is really tense as to what she's going to do about the booth and ends up getting really drunk that night. She almost takes all of her clothes off because she is not herself anymore. However, when she is just about to fall on the ground, she is caught and picked up by someone. When she wakes up in the morning, she realizes that she is in Noah's room. He goes on to tell her that he slept in the guest house because she was in his bed. When she wakes up, she is still hungover from last night and ends up falling on top of Noah. As she tries to get away, she gets really awkward and they both just laugh it off. She gets to know that everyone has been thinking that Noah is going to be coming for the kissing booth, but they know that this is not going to be the case. Lee asks her what they are going to do about it, and the next day she comes up with a plan. She goes to see the popular girls and goes on to tell them that Noah will only be coming if both of them agree to kiss him, and they already want that, so the popular girls right away agree to it. That day when they are home, Elle and Lee go on to spray paint at each other, and Elle almost ends up going blind while playing. She is not able to see anything properly and ends up in the boys' toilet. There, when she goes to take her shirt off, she is booed by all the boys out there. Noah is also there and right away tells her to get out of there, but she does not want him controlling her life like that, so to make her point, she goes one step forward and goes on to dance for the boys in the men's bathroom, and that annoys Noah. The kissing has been installed and the carnival day is here. Things are going well for Lee and Elle because they have been getting a lot of funding. Noah, however, has still not shown up at the booth, and the girls who were to kiss him, they are getting impatient waiting for him. They then decide that they are going to make Lee the kissing guy at the booth. The popular girls, however, end up getting pissed because they of course do not think much of Lee. A classmate, Rachel, steps up to kiss Lee, and the two leave Elle to staff the booth. Annoyed with Elle, the OMG girls set her up to kiss an undesirable student. At the last second, the student waves Noah ahead. He kisses the blindfolded Elle, and when she realizes Noah has kissed her, they kiss again in front of everyone. She later on goes to tell it to Lee, and he says that he is fine with a kiss as long as it does not go any further. When Noah and Elle later on talk to each other, we see that there is some tension building up between them. That night, Noah gives her a ride back home on his bike. Elle, however, finds herself unable to stop thinking about him since the moment she kissed him. As he drives on, it starts to rain really badly, and they pull up under a shade where they start making out again. They have not gotten really close to each other, and when he is about to drop her off, they finally get to talk, and he tells her that he really likes her. That night, she is not able to sleep. She goes on to make a list of the pros and cons of dating Noah, trying to decide if it is going to be a good idea. One night, they are at a party, and a boy forces Elle to take a hot tub bath with him. Noah comes forward and goes on to beat the shit out of the boy. He then makes her sit in his car and drives away. He tells her that he is going to take her to a secret spot. He then assures the girl that he is really crazy for her. They then go on to make out. Whenever they are free, they keep texting and enjoy the wordplay with each other. They are now in a relationship, but no one really knows about it. One day, while they were lying in his bed together, they almost get caught by Noah's mother, but Noah manages to hide her just in time. When they go on to learn that Noah is about to go to Harvard University, and he tells Elle not to reveal their relationship to anyone when he is not around. One day, while they are in Noah's room doing some nasty stuff, Lee goes on to listen to her moans and knocks on the door. When he asks what's going on, she tells him that they are just watching something. They are having the best time of their lives. Elle decides that she is going to tell about it, but when she finally manages to find courage in herself, she is interrupted by his girlfriend. A few days later, when Noah and Elle are doing playful stuff in the garage, Lee shows up and they end up getting caught just like that. As they think they've been caught, it turns out that Lee just thinks that Noah hit her in the face and goes on to give him a piece of his mind. He still asks if anything is going on between them, and Elle says no, lying to her best friend. However, just a few moments later, he catches them kissing, and this leads to a physical fight between the brothers. Lee is extremely upset, and Elle is also scared because she thinks that she has lost her best friend for good. Elle lashes out at Noah, blaming him for exposing their relationship, so he leaves on his motorcycle. Elle now stops coming to their house, and the Flynn brothers' mother comes to check in on her. She tells her that things will get back to normal. Elle starts to get her life back, she starts driving lessons and tries to normalize things. One day she decides that she is going to talk to Lee. She apologizes to him, but he tells her that he does not want to do anything with her. Noah also makes his way back to the city, and he goes to see Elle's father and tries to apologize to him for everything that happened. Noah risks not graduating by being absent from school for the next few weeks, and Lee completely ignores Elle. Elle sees Lee at the arcade and he invites her to dance with him and they reconcile. Elle goes to prom with Lee and Rachel, whom he is now dating. Huge black and white photographs adorn the walls of Memory Lane, a special prom exhibit including the photos of the kissing booth. Noah emerges from the back asking Elle to the stage and confessing his love for her publicly, but she runs away. He apologizes to Lee at home, telling him his feelings for Elle are serious despite the fact that he is leaving for Harvard the next day. At Elle and Lee's birthday costume party the next day, Elle confesses her love for Noah to Lee. He relents, wanting her to be happy and agreeing to help her find Noah. Driving Lee's car, Elle shares her feelings for Noah with Lee dressed in his Batman costume, only to discover it is Noah in the costume. Elle and Noah spend the following weeks together before he leaves for college. Watching him go, she is unsure if their relationship will last, but she knows a part of her heart will always belong to him. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for new movie recaps.